In the ever-evolving landscape of Lagos, leadership plays a pivotal role in shaping the future of its over 20 million residents. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu took the helm 5 years ago, promising transformation and progress for the bustling mega city. But how far have these promises been fulfilled? What challenges were surmounted? And where did the government fall short? In this exclusive interview with Comrade Razak Olukoba.
We are lucky to have Sanwo-Olu as the governor of Lagos State. He's articulate, he's intelligent, and is brilliant. He's a very smart politician. What the country has gone through in the last 5 years under his reign as the governor is a very turbulent era. So if we don't have someone who understands the peculiarity of the moment, like him in power, Lagos will not only be in chaos, the entire country will have been in chaos. Lagos occupy a very significant role in the political landscape of Nigeria. It occupies a very significant landscape in the economic space of Nigeria. And if it had not been someone who understands the terrain very well, the challenge Lagos will have rubbed off on the entire country. But because he has been able to locomote the politics and economy of Lagos very well, that is why the challenge we have as a people today is a buffer. Lagos is a buffer for us, it's a backbone for us. It is a place that houses more than half of the economy of the nation. If it is mismanaged, the country will be in economic chaos. So also, if we look at the state very well, we understand the challenge the state is facing as a component part of Nigeria. The number of people in Lagos is one of the challenges any governor of Lagos will be facing. If you take it side by side with the space that is available for us to cohabit, it's so small to such an extent that it requires a lot of institutions to be able to manage us. 25 million people with their vehicles go out every day. So if there's no last man, 25 million people every day giving out refuse. If there's no institution like KAI and other agencies, nobody will be willing to live in Lagos again. With only the traffic warning and less than 10,000 policemen in Nigeria to secure the life of 25 million people. If there's no complementary institutions that is in place that became more active under Sanwo-Olu, we will have been in chaos. So topics like this will help shape the understanding of the direction the country is heading towards. And that is why whatever gentleman needs to succeed, as a people, we must hand it over to him. And number one thing out of it is our loyalty. It is also our patriotism. We need to be more patriotic to the government. The country as a whole has its own bigger challenge, has its own big issues that it's going to contend with. And in contending with it, there's a Lagos in all other countries. Johannesburg for South Africa, Cairo for Egypt, London for Britain, New York for America. Our own Lagos must be protected. The attitude in the past where we assume that a state like Lagos must succeed on its own, we need to stop it. We have to ensure that a state like Lagos is complemented by the people and by the federal government. And that is why the remaining time that Sanwo-Olu is going to spend, we must make sure that it's an umbilical cord that keeps feeding the country to be able to run smoothly. Anywhere that is traumatized economically in any part of Nigeria, the first that comes to our mind is Lagos. So you keep creating challenge for any governor in Lagos. The challenge of how to cope with the population that is growing every day. And before the turn of the century, the population of Lagos is going to 800 million. And if that is the case, we will not wait for that time before we keep planning. Lagos has always planned from the future. And Each time you see a road network linking each other to each other, it's an improvisation, because every space that is available for Lagos to construct road has been consumed. So any new road in Lagos today is trying to improvise. No land for roads network again. And that is why when you hear of purple line, red line, blue line rail in Lagos State in Lagos State that is coming up again, it is part of the recognition that the teeming population of Lagos State must be able to move. If you slow down the movement of the people, you are going to be slowing down your economy. If you don't allow people to network, water, railway, and road network, you are stagnating your economy. If during production time, 3 hours to your destination, 3 hours back, if you don't allow that to happen, that's a waste of production time. So these are all the things that some of you understand, and that is why it became amazing to someone like us that with COVID-19, with NSAS, with the challenge the federal government is heaping on it, on Lagos, is still surviving. So it is good to bring out all these things so that Lagosians and Nigerians at large will understand where Lagos is coming from and where Sanwo-Olu is coming from, and the sacrifice it took him to get to us to the point we are today. Immediately after NSAS, immediately after COVID-19, we knew the fear we had in our mind is that Lagos economy is going to collapse by 50%. That's our expert view, but that he survived it and is still working and still standing on his feet. We have to commend him, and that is why tax must be paid. We must compliment what he's doing. Enough of saying, and when last man has issue with the lawbreakers, that's why we don't want to vote for APC. That is demoralizing, and that is anti-development. When the enforcement agency is trying to make sure 25 million people don't bump into each other, you don't create more problem for it by saying that law should not be obeyed. So for me, the gentleman has done very well. Each time he has a challenge, that challenge brings out the best in him. He did in COVID-19, he did in NSAS, and with what is happening now, you would see that he doesn't wait for any challenge to come up. Immediately the fuel crisis hit us again, Immediately he issued instruction, and he put down a policy where he's going to shed the challenge away from the workforce. He said you can come 3 days in a week, 2 days in a week. And again, when the challenge of food scarcity, skyrocketing prices of commodity came up again, Oko just arrived from, as if it's from the moon, and it became a model for everywhere in the country, where other governors are also following the model. So we need at all time a governor like Sanwo-Olu in Lagos. When he came on board, what he did immediately is also amazing. He sought out the movement of workers. The boss was complimented. The boss staff boss was complimented. So if you put all these things together, you will know that it's a man who understands the terrain, and it's a man who knows the next step that he should take to take us there. The new thing that is going to come up now shows us clearly that we must compel our federal government to look at Lagos model. Lagos did not wait for the traffic warden of Lagos State to run away from our roads, the federal police, before it came up with LASMA. So the Lagos model needs to be adopted by the federal government. All these numerous agencies that work and make Lagos habitable for us, we must also compel the federal government to look in that direction. We must compel all the states to look in that direction. If you look at the money that was given out to governors just a few days back, 108 billion naira to address environmental challenges that ignited from Borno. He didn't wait for that to happen before he starts his rigorous campaign about erosion, rigorous campaign about how people should handle flood, how people should handle their refuse. He didn't wait for that. He has started that advocacy long time ago. Climate change orientation has been going on long time ago. So In essence, what we need as a people, as Lagosians, is to constantly be on the lookout for the governor, to constantly be on the lookout for him to ensure that we do everything that is going to make him do more for us. And one of it is to be patriotic, obey all the laws that has been established, has been put in place. Traffic laws, environmental laws, the security laws should be obeyed. And the second thing is that you must also find yourself to inject yourself into the tax dragnet of Lagos. If there's no money, there's no how some of these things can be carried out. And the tax dragnet of Lagos is a challenging thing, because out of 25 million people, the percentage of people who still pay tax in Lagos is still very low. So, and if you have an unwilling taxpayer, government will continue to have a challenge. You must be a willing taxpayer. So also, the bigger influence of Nigeria, we should not and should never allow it to dislodge the work Lagos is trying to do. For instance, NSAS is a major setback. The recent one was End Bad Government. We had to build the barricade around Lagos state government. We didn't allow it to happen. So as Lagosians and as Nigeria, it is the greatest aberration the service anybody will do to allow what has happened during NSA to happen in Lagos again. We must do everything humanly possible to make sure that Lagos state is not destroyed. If you destroy the economy of Lagos, you are not destroying the economy of Nigeria, of Lagos. You are actually destroying the economy of Nigeria. Energy, major energy sector in the country today is in Lagos, Dangote refinery. So if you disrupt the economy of Lagos, you are not disrupting the economy of 25 million Nigeria. You are actually destroying the economy of Nigeria. So if you see this from this perspective, it's fine. There are agric produce that is coming into Lagos. There are finished product coming from outside Lagos to Lagos. If that chain is broken for 1 month, it's going to impact on the economy of Nigeria. So we need to be careful in handling Lagos, and that is why it is not an advocacy on behalf of people who work with government that we are doing. If you say that we should allow Sanwo-Olu to focus, it's not because of the people working in. It's not because we are friendly with the government since 1990. No, it's not because of that. It's actually for the nation. It's actually for us, for our children and children that is yet unborn. If you don't handle your today very well, the future will have a challenge. People who mismanaged yesterday is the reason why we have a challenge today. That is not a license for us to also mismanage today. If you want our children to live a better life tomorrow, it begins today. So if you destroy the progress of Lagos, you are not destroying the progress of Lagos. You are actually destroying the progress of Nigeria.